All right, what's going on, guys? It's Matt, and we're back on Friday. Another just eventful day today in the markets. This one happened a little bit later, but yeah, I again went to bed super late last night. I was going to take today off. I even said it in the Telegram, like, yeah, I'm not trading today. But then I ended up trading, ended up profit, and so whatever. But I wasn't going to trade today. I'm still like absolutely dead. But I wanted to update you guys before the weekend because we have some good videos coming on the weekend. I do believe that. I think you guys will get a lot out of it. So let's dive in. The first thing I was looking at was this on dollar index. Nice hidden base there, beautiful impulsive candle, obviously clear correction. We have consolidation, sweep both sides of it and come back up. So I was just looking at this to be a good area to go short from. And so basically this morning, right in London session, it gave some really amazing sell opportunities. And then a little bit later in New York, right here in New York, I was actually, we see a nice sweep here, see a nice sweep there. And we can see as soon as we break above this swing high here, we have an order block here, imbalance, comes back into it and absolutely launches up. So at this point, I was honestly looking for longs right here on Euro. When Euro was retraced back up to here, I was looking for longs. And I said, because I missed the shorts. I missed these ones right here, which again, on dollar index is going to be longs. I don't want to confuse you, but I missed those. And so I basically wanted to look for something up here to bring back down at least into here or potentially down, because again, we mitigated off here. We took out these highs. To me, that easily could have started going down. It wasn't until we started to see development of price action at this point that it became evident that price was going to launch up. Okay, so but you can see where the bias comes from, right? The bias comes from that this is a clear, like, to me, the next move on dollar index is this. No question. Sure, today I said even in the Telegram that, like, can dollar index go up one more time into this level? Absolutely. It absolutely can, right? Because again, we filled up some imbalance. We barely tapped into it. So I wouldn't, and the way that it was coming down is just very efficient. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got one of these, but I said I'm looking for shorts on dollar index, which means longs on Euro US dollar. So going into it, you can see that we hit that target that we called out at the beginning of the week at 13500s. Again, wasn't anticipating that this was going to happen today. Don't get me wrong. I was anticipating that this was our trade here, right? In London, it was going up beautifully. I entered longs here, but I was anticipating that this was going to come out and come up into this imbalance somewhere. And then we were potentially going to get this next week. That was my idea. We swept a significant low here. I didn't anticipate that this was going to come all the way down to the 13,500 today. So don't make that mistake, or don't think I'm saying that, because that's not what I mean at all. Like, that's not what I said. I actually said today that I'm actually more bullish today. Again, I told you about, or I showed you dollar index. So I was looking for, as soon as this broke down, I was looking for this to come back up here. However, that being said, I said I'm taking profits aggressively at where? At this sell model, right? What's the sell model? You can see it right here. Consolidation, sweep, breakdown, inducement, come back up, right? If I'm entering shorts, it's going to be from somewhere in here, right? So if I'm starting to see how price is reacting and I'm not liking it, I'm taking out my position here, because I know that this is my objective anyways. Again, this came up super nicely in London, but the way, as soon as we broke significant structure, now I'm looking for this as potentially, or I know that a retracement up into this level is higher likely than this going whatever to break higher, especially given the time of the day, right? This happened right at New York. And you can see right at New York, this is the trend of New York, right? And then what happens later on, we get this pullback up, very corrective pullback up, and then boom, we get that impulse back down. I'll show you what I was thinking though, as a potential option if we were going up. Firstly, we had the sweep, break a structure. This was inducement all around here. All of this is mitigated. There's a 2-minute unmitigated block right there. And you can see this is the inducement. And so if it's going to break the high, then what I'm seeing is we have consolidation, sweep, inducement, come back down. And I liked how inefficient it came down. And so, yeah, as soon as that happened, I was looking for buys right here. I actually set a limit on my first one. But yeah, let's just first start off with London, because I don't want to get too confused yet. Right now, London swept the low, right? Daily low, beautiful. What ends up happening? We sweep very aggressively, consume, inducement right here. And what do we have? Let's go in the 1 minute. Oh man, I'm tired. At this order block, look at that, right? Again, if you are, I mean, you could literally just take with your stop like that. For me, I wouldn't personally, especially because there's this imbalance right here that I know that it can easily wick into. Okay, so again, if you took that, I mean, good on you, but that's not something that I would take personally. What I do like about this though is that we swept significant structure. If you pull the fib like that, you can see that lines up beautifully with the 79. If we actually just use the bodies instead, that's where bulk of the volume is, lines up beautifully with the 79. Therefore, my target or my stop loss would be below what? The strong low right here, where we had a sweep on liquidity, break in structure, inducement, imbalance. So we had everything here, right? This was absolutely gorgeous. And again, when you pull the right fib, look what ends up happening, right? We have a high here. Look at that. Hits it to the T, our one standard deviation, and drops back in. Again, is there another setup here? Absolutely. Stop right here. And again, like, because you have to understand, well, if we got a daily sweep here and we got an Asian sweep, like where should we be targeting? And ultimately, like, I'd be targeting Asian highs. This is really the last main high of Asian highs. So that's what I would do. Again, there's all this imbalance up here. Imbalance right there, a lot of gapping right there. So I would be definitely looking above Asian highs. Like that would be my number one. Do we have any lineup with the target? Yeah, you can see that right here we have the -3 standard deviations. That kind of lines up just above Asian high and also in that kind of gap area. So that's what I would be looking at personally if I were trading London, somewhere up into here, minimum this one here, this high, because this was the main high of Asia. This is Asian high, sure, but this is the main high of Asia right here. Okay, so I would definitely be looking above that one. Again, that's already 11R if you took it like that. Additionally, if I just take this off, what do you see here? I see a sweep there. I see a break of a significant swing point. Okay, I see Induceroni here, the old Induceroni. And then I see what? Imbalance. And again, this is the same thing, right? You could take it right here and your stop can be below here. Absolutely, it can be. The thing that sketches me out when I see this is that I know that it could easily just grab this as well. It could sweep into this one, grab that, and then continue up. I just know that if I enter right here and my stop is below here for a 6 pip stop, the probabilities are significantly greater in my favor that I'm not going to get stopped out than if I just take this. Sure, the risk reward is halved essentially, right? Is going to be halved, but your potential to stay in the trade is going to be much higher. So again, you do whatever fits your criteria, right? For you, maybe it makes sense to take this, and that's fine. So take it, right? Don't let me tell you what to do and what not to do. I'm just saying my opinion of it. When I see a structure like this, right? This is the strong low. This is the low that I'm anticipating that isn't going to get broken, right? Not some block right here. It could easily penetrate that block and then go while still holding this strong low, right? It's not. It's just something that for me, that's going to be the most probable placement of the stop where I'm going to avoid more losses. And again, if it hits, what's this target is almost 5R. Like that's enough to me, right? That's enough for me to be content. But I know a lot of you guys wouldn't want to do that, and so there you go. You can refine it just to that candle, okay? But be very cautious of this. Which later on, we absolutely just swept right through. Again, same thing happens. Break structure. Well, this one was actually the real break of structure right there. You can see fair value gap right here. Let's go to a higher time frame so you can see it. There you go. That's a beautiful fair value gap right there on the 2 minute, right? We break all this inducement. We sweep again right here. Use this all as inducement, all right here. Imagine how many people, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Obviously, this is going to be the next place that they're going to be looking. The extreme of that, no, gets run and then starts going. So I'd be looking for here again. If I know a lot of you guys would have your limits here, so you probably wouldn't be getting tagged into that anyways, right? Just because, again, you wanted to enter off the order block and rather than the imbalance. And so that's fine, right? Again, I typically order or semi-order in the fair value gap as opposed to the actual order block, unless it makes more sense. There's certain scenarios when I like to do it when I enter on the block instead, but for right now, yeah, you could have taken it right out of that imbalance, but if you didn't, no worries, you missed that. It's not a problem because what do you see here? To me, no significant structure was broken here. We actually came back up into this imbalance right here, mitigated that, and then came back down. But one of the things that I would be looking at is, let's go to a higher time frame, 3 minute, 5 minute, right here. Again, there's just another beautiful fair value gap right here. Okay, fair value gap, we dabble into it, come back up, come back down, hits the last down candle, right? So it hits the last down candle. And again, if we're anticipating up, our bias is up, right? Up at least to this high, right there. Then what are we doing? Like, we want to keep looking for longs if the opportunity presents itself. Realistically, look at this. If I just draw on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know that this is the potential lower low. This is this higher. Wait, sorry. This is the potential higher low, or yeah, higher low. Tired. Fuck. And this is the potential. This is the higher high. And so if we're going to continue up to our main objective, which is going to be these high Asian high, or like the main high in Asia, or the very, very high of Asia, then that means that we're going to be continuing up. Is there any evidence on the lower timeframes that this is going to be the play? Well, again, you can refine that down if you really want to do. If you really want to refine, you can see that there's another fair value gap just right in front of this one here. Okay, and what you can do is you can enter off this one. However, again, because this one didn't get mitigated, it's kind of like what happened here. There's potential that because this didn't get mitigated, this was the kind of a quote unquote fake move up, and then we came back down to really catch it, right? So potentially this one was going to come back down to really mitigate and then go. And so if you didn't want to take that, no worries. But what you could have done is wait for that break in structure, sweep, and then you have right down here. I mean, it really wouldn't have tagged anything that I see right now, unless you took this block right there. But I personally, actually, you know what? This one is good because we had a break right here of a swing point. We also had a break of this swing point, fair value gap right there. Again, I would have probably preferred to see it get back down into here, into this fair value gap down here, but it didn't. And so, yeah, you could have easily taken this one here if you wanted, but again, it's up to you. It's up to your strategy, what works for your strategy. Again, I would have been a little bit more aggressive with it, knowing that this is going to be the high that needs to get taken out. Now we can set this up as the high, the low. Again, where do we dabble into here? Let's go in the 2 minute, 3 minute. We have what? Fair value gap. And then what do we have? Sweep and break a structure. We also have in our equal highs right here. Okay, so I would be looking for something in this leg. Again, I wasn't up at this time. I actually woke up right at 7 o'clock today. Again, super late, like I wasn't going to trade today. But it's all good. You can see that we had that break. We also had another break right here. This was the 1 minute break. So we'll just use this one. And essentially, what do we have? Consolidation, sweep, break, inducement, come back down. Look at this fair value gap right here. Tiny little fair value gap. Boom. So this one to me is the A plus setup. Out of this one, okay, maybe you could have justified not taking this one, not taking this one, missing this one here. Okay, but this one, banging, absolutely banging. Again, this is one of those situations where I just enter right at the imbalance fill, or not at the imbalance fill, sorry, within the imbalance, either at the front of it or right at the middle. In this case, I would just do right at the front of it because it's literally only 0.1 pip. Like, again, no need to be greedy there. Where can your stop be? Well, realistically, it could be right below this low here, okay? Because that's going to be that void, that void fill candle. However, what I would do is just put it underneath that strong low, just especially like, look at that, 2 pips, right? With spread, maybe you have 0.2 spread, there you go, right? 2.1 pips. And where am I going to be taking our profits? I'd be taking it if I just pull the fib between the low and the high there, just using the bodies. You can see it lines up perfectly with that the 0.79. We have this high here. We have Asian high right here. Do we have any confluence? Look at that. Okay, so we have confluence right here and right here. So you could be taking a significant portion of your trade off in and around there or there. Okay, so again, all these trades are exactly the same, right? All these ones are exactly the same, exactly the same. You could have, again, you could have missed those ones, that's fine, but they're all exactly the same. This one, again, it's not a, if you lost here, I wouldn't say it's a bad loss, right? Because there is just not, we're not getting a really clear consolidation, but essentially what we have here is a sweep, break a structure, and what? Fair value gap right here. Okay, so if you took this one after sweeping, and you thought that that was good, the only thing is look at this. Like, we didn't fill in any of this. We have this massive, on other brokers, it'll probably just be an imbalance, but here it was a nice gap. Okay, so we didn't have any of this gap being filled, none of it, right? If I just show you like this volume imbalance there, literally none of it. So again, it's you have your setup here, but it's about where that setup is. And yeah, we did sweep, but we really didn't dabble into anything. And so if I were to take it, I would probably wait for that. And my stop personally would be above this high. If I'm gonna enter directly off that, it's gonna be above that high. And you can see that we dabble up into it right there. But right here, what does it do? It adds what? An inducement. This is just building liquidity. It's pooling shorts right here, right? Or it's inducing shorts right here, inducing shorts. Then what do we have? We have a very inefficient move that goes above it, mitigates that. Let me just take it off right here, that because this is going to be the fill of it. Look at that, mitigates that fill. What do we have? This same fractal here, right? Where we have this consolidation, sweep above and down, consolidation, sweep and down. And so personally, I don't see anything in here that I would have taken. This one does look kind of nice though. Like if I were just trying to react like super quickly, and I was really adamant on this. So for example, if I was just going to set a limit here, right at that fill, and then my stop above here for a 3.6 stop, easily could have done that. But if I wanted to just wait to see like getting any sort of confirmation, then what you can do is just wait for this fractal to play out, consolidation, sweep, big breakdown, retrace back up into it, right? Into these series of down candles, right? And then you can just take it right from here. And again, just to get a little bit more confirmation instead of looking for your, instead of just setting a limit, you could have done that as well. Okay, so I'll show you the first trade I took today, which was a loss. Which again, these ones were really nice. Like all of these were just like, this one was A+, this one was A+, this one was A+. This one I would have had a little bit difficult time taking. Maybe if I was more prepared, I probably would have taken this, to be honest, because it actually fit my criteria. but actually this fit my criteria a lot more. Sorry, this consolidation, sweep up, inducement, come back up here. These shorts fit my criteria a lot more, which is why when I was longing here, I said, okay, I'm taking off majority of mine from 70s, 1470s. And you can see that 14071 is literally right here, right? And that's what led to then it led to that downside. So again, if you wanted to take that one, you definitely could have. Where would I be targeting? Let me just clear everything off actually, because this is kind of annoying to keep talking on here. So what do we have here? We had that liquidity sweep. Perfect. Again, if you missed this down move, no worries. Where can you be looking? Let's go on the 15-minute. So this is this is where I was looking. I was looking at, I'll show you right here. I was personally looking at this where I knew that this was going to be an inducement here. And I thought, hey, if we're going to continue up, it's probably going to hold this one here. Okay. One thing I also saw was that this was the trend. And I know that there was a nice support and resistance level right here, right on that trend. Right? Just like that. So I was confident that people were going to be longing right from that support and resistance, what I should have been more aware of is that where would their stops be? Their stops are probably going to be under here, right? Because again, that's probably going to be the next area where the liquidity is going to be. And then not only that, but we had just such an imbalance again. And this is what I'm saying. Like I was so exhausted today, and I saw this after. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Absolute meathead. So I saw this, and yeah, so I got taken out of it. I actually entered. I'll show you exactly where on the 1 minute inducement. Again, I'm going to continue. Right? There's no. This is low resistance liquidity run. See the difference between this sweep, this break of structure, this entry, right? Is because this is high resistance liquidity. And then once we get these kind of relatively equal lows, now it's low resistance. So this to me should be invalid. But ultimately what I was looking at was this, okay? And it literally just blew right through. Like I said it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be, oh, never mind. Absolutely dusted. It happened so quick. And my stop was just underneath this low actually. Again, I always usually use like an additional low below just for extra security, unless it's a really, really nice setup like this one down here, right? Then I'll just use that low. So yeah, it wasn't too confident. And then yeah, it got stopped out. That's fine. What happened? We were traced back up into this block here, into that rejection block. Again, could have even taken another short here. No real major sweep there, but what did we have? We had an inducement leading right back up to it. I don't have a good fractal here to play, to be honest, that I like to see. But what I did see, sorry, is this on the 15-minute, I believe it was. No, it was 10-minute, 5-minute. Where was? Oh yeah, sorry. Consolidation, sweep, break up, inducement, up. And so anything underneath this low, I was looking at, and I was like, is there any POI below these equal lows here? So I just went down to the 3-minute. Again, I just do this process the same every time. You can see everything here is mitigated. And so I was like, okay, let's go on the 2-minute. And then I saw something right here that caught my attention, where I saw this block unmitigated, right? And so I said, you know what? I'm going to look at this block here. And I actually just marked it like this, just the body. And I said, yeah, I'm going to take that, because if this is a buy model, this is the inducement right here. Additionally, we had this uptrend, right? Like we had this uptrend. So I know that there's probably going to be people shorting as soon as this uptrend breaks. I know that that's going to be the inducement. I know, again, like look at where price went here. Remember how I pointed that out earlier, how this is going to be a support and resistance zone right here. And then as soon as it gets swept, I want to go look back up. Well, look what happens here. It sweeps, tags it, creates more support and resistance, and then gets above it, right? And then gets above it. So it ended up being a nice support and resistance, quote unquote, SNR liquidity. And so I knew I could at least target that. And so I just set my limit here. I just set a limit right there. Stop below this low. That 3 pips. And again, main target is going to be right here. I also know that, I think is it the 10 or the 15? Yeah, 10 right here. This is what I was looking at. I saw this imbalance right here. Again, if this is a potential sell model right here, consolidation sweep, inducement up, well, then where am I looking? I'm looking to get out where I would be looking to short, which I'd be looking to short inducement, order block, and you can see that there's just a tiny, tiny little hidden base right here too, right? That it respected just super nicely right there. Okay, wicked through a little bit, that's fine, right? So I ended up getting out of my position at 70s. Right there. Okay, I got out majority of this position at 70s. I left a little bit on in case it wanted to run, and then I started to see it develop here, and I ended up getting out right here. Ended up getting out I think I was in like 10% more, and I got out of it right there. The additional play that I entered on was right here. Right after I saw the reaction here, I was like, okay, I'm really liking this. I saw swing point break here, swing point break here. To me, this was the cleanest one. Sweep, break up. Well, what do we have here? Or last down candle, order block, fair value gap. Right? If I use my fib just to measure everything out, you could see here 62 to 79 lines up beautifully in that level. So you can just take it, and I just took it right from here. Right? At the open of that imbalance, I don't care. Like, I don't need to refine crazily. I mean, could I have? Sure. I literally could have entered right here, and I could have put my stop right below this low. Right? I could have taken a 1 pip stop on that. But it's just more about, I'd rather get tagged in. I'd rather get tagged in, and I'd rather have my stop where it's at a high, the most high probable place that is not going to go, and invalidate my idea. You know what I mean? Like, if my idea is invalidated, it's going to break this low, right? If it breaks under here, my idea can still be valid. It's just me trying to be greedy with the risk. And sure, you sacrifice risk to reward, but you increase your win rate. And to me, I prefer to just have a higher win rate, to be honest. And so, yeah, you can see I was actually looking for a little bit higher pricing, just to target that -1 level. But I saw that obviously we had the hidden order block over here. You can see it's a nice little order block here. We had a nice imbalance right here. And so that's where I was looking at. I was looking at targeting these levels. Then we started getting up here. I saw these equal lows get rated right there, dabbled into this, and then started rocketing. I was like, oh yeah, perfect. And so as soon as we got up into there, I waited, and then I was just like, I'm just going to close off majority here. And I literally caught it right at the very high there. And then it came back down to here. I said, no, I'm not adding any positions. Like, I'm just going to wait to see if this low holds. I saw it being respected, and we got a nice little move out of it. And so I put my stop from these two. I put them right under here. Okay. Put them right under there. And then whatever happened in the future, I didn't really care about. And so I kind of just like logged off until it was right around here. Now, what I didn't see though, again, because I wasn't on, was this. We had divergence, dollar index, right? We had what? Dollar index creating a lower low, and EU making a lower high. So as soon as we see that getting confirmed, then we can like be confident that, yeah, this is going to go down. And so if I saw that, I would have been way more bearish, and I probably would have honestly added in an entry, even though like trading at what, 12:30 on a Friday is just not a good idea, right? We have our last up candles though. Get back in, very inefficient, smack that. And you can see, if any of you guys are watching ICT's new course content on the mentorship content, well, what do you have here? Well, you don't get the sweep, right? However, we have divergence, so that is technically a sweep. You're just seeing here that you have a weaker euro. And so technically what it should have done, quote unquote, should have done, is it should have swept above and then came back down, right? Dollar index did that, but EU couldn't, because EU was a weaker currency, meaning they were accumulating. Smart money was accumulating. So what do we have here though? We have a break of what? Significant structural point right here, break in market structure, right? And then we have imbalance right here, like that. And so you could have entered whatever your rules are. If it's 50% of the imbalance, go ahead. If it's just above that imbalance, you could have taken that. If it's the order block, you would have missed it. If it's the breaker block right there, you could have taken that, right? That was confluence right here. If I just mark it out, this is confluence right with 50%. Like that right there, you have a nice area of confluence right there. Your stop, again, your stop could be literally above that high. Not something I would do though. I would personally put it at least above that high, get a little bit extra protection. And then, yeah, where would you be targeting? Well, if this is your sell model here, right, this is going to be your weak low right there. So that would be your target number one. Okay. And then, yeah, that's basically it. It ended up coming all the way back down to what? The 3500s, and started to get some reaction right from that hidden base at rate 3300s. So, but you can see how this one played out. And right, I think it was good to have a bullish bias today based off what we had here. But as soon as just be cautious at this level and see how price is reacting, it could have easily zipped up and passed, in my opinion. However, the fact that we just didn't, do it, and we look at the reaction here, right? We get up to this level, we get up to that imbalance, like I was saying on the higher time frame, and then look at price, right? We diverge, we get breaks down. Okay, now it's time for price to drop. Like now, like that's our confirmation on this whole setup. Could have easily went up, even up to just up to here, where more position would have been taken off, and probably would have closed my whole trade, considering this was the significant break in structure right here. But yeah, that's what I was looking at today, guys. And I'll show you right here. Right, you can see entered, like, call again, look at the time here, 9:39. You can see that it's roughly at 9:39 here in the morning, right? And you can see this is exactly what I was looking at. And I said likely to at least dabble into the sell model. So the imbalance that was there, like I said, again, this is all done beforehand. 9:58, right? 9:58. You can see came back down. It gave us another OTE entry right here. And I said, yeah, I want to see that at least get up to that 14.055s. Again, likely to dabble into that imbalance plus breaker plus all that. And we had divergence here as well. So I was really confident in this one, and boom, we get that. Again, you can see that like within 30 minutes, we already made our money. Like this was already a 7R, I think it was. And this one was about a 3, just about a 3R, something like that. Okay. When it got up to here, it was like about a 4R up into around here, which is where I closed majority of it. And then what else? I think that's it, guys. Honestly, I think that's all. Yeah, I'm gonna go take a nap or just chill out for a little bit. I hope that you guys had a great week. It's a tough one, right? I mean, you look at the week, you look at the weekly structure, and you say, wow, you had consolidation, you had sweep down, sweep up, move back down. Like, it's a tough one to trade if you don't know how to trade based off of liquidity pools, how to identify liquidity pools and stuff. Like you're just trend following. Good luck, because again, this one would have been a really, really difficult one to trade. Personally, for me, I took a win here, a win short here. I took a loss here this week. I took a win here, and partials and break even here. I took partials. I took a majority of my position here. This was like a 5R. It got swept one more time, came back down. Then overnight, yeah, I was actually looking for longs here on this day. It failed and it went down. Again, I understand why it did that now, but at the time, I was just a little bit more bullish on EU. And you can see that same day though, I mean, because I was like, there's so much buy side liquidity right here. And like, I just feel like that's going to go get smashed. Like, I don't want to be trading right in front of it. And so it ended up doing both, but I ended up catching a beautiful long right from this low. And then the team caught a nice short from up here. Again, we called it when it was a little bit down, like, cause I just came back to the computer. Not claiming I took that at all by any means, but it was there was an opportunity here for sure. Nice opportunity here after taking out these highs. And again, my target was literally like right here on that anyways. Like, I wouldn't have held this whole way, I don't think, just because of this, because to me, we have this kind of consolidation. We swept this low and then we went back up. What I was anticipating was just a retracement back down into this, to be honest, as a potential to go from there. Because I could have seen that, yeah, we respected the 3,800s level perfectly. And now we were just getting a retracement for continuation. But then as it developed throughout the day, I realized that this was going to be a weak low. And it ended up, I said that in the last video, that this was going to be the weak low. It was, right? We get a tag today. We get our nice option or a move here. I took 2 longs here up to here. And then that was it. I missed basically the main move. I got the main move here up to here. So I got majority of that. And yeah, that's basically it. Missed some moves, definitely have some stuff to improve on and stuff to review, but it's all good. We'll smash it. Hope you guys had a great week. I'll be uploading again tomorrow and then on Sunday as well. Just some cool videos. I'm going to do one on like basically how I would approach like the funding challenge with like the risk parameters and all that. And then on Sundays, I'm going to just do the EU forecast for the week and what I'm anticipating. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Hope you have an amazing weekend. Thanks again for the support. I think yeah, on YouTube we're rocking at 1,000 subs now, so that's awesome. I'm so stoked. Can't believe it. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.